Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, Mr. DNA, where did you come from? From your blood. Just one drop of your blood contains billions of strands of DNA, the building blocks of life. A DNA strand, like me, is a blueprint for building a living thing. And sometimes animals that went extinct millions of years ago, like dinosaurs, left their blueprints behind for us to find. We just had to know where to look. 100 million years ago, there were mosquitoes, just like today. And just like today, they fed on the blood of animals, even dinosaurs. Sometimes, after biting a dinosaur, the mosquito would land on the branch of a tree and get stuck in the sap. After a long time, the tree sap would get hard and become fossilized, just like a dinosaur bone, preserving the mosquito inside. This fossilized tree sap, which we call amber, waited for millions of years with the mosquito inside, until Jurassic Park scientists came along. Using sophisticated techniques, they extract the preserved blood from the mosquito and, bingo, dino DNA. A full DNA strand contains 3 billion genetic codes. If we looked at screens like these once a second for 8 hours a day, it'd take 2 years to look at the entire DNA strand. It's that long. It's full of holes. Now that's where our geneticists take over. Thinking machine supercomputers and gene sequencers break down the strand in minutes. And virtual reality displays show our geneticists the gaps in the DNA sequence. We use the complete DNA of a frog to fill in the holes and complete the code. And now we can make a baby dinosaur.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Synthesize transfer RNA to encode an entirely new genome, combining the genetic information from all 3 spiders into these 15 genetically designed super spiders.
There's 14.
Parker, let's do it.
I long to fix myself. I want to create a world without weakness. Anyone care to venture a guess just how? Yes.
Stem cells?
Promising, but the solution I'm thinking of is more radical. No one?
Cross-species genetics. Person gets Parkinson's when the brain cells that produce dopamine start to disappear. But a zebrafish has the ability to regenerate cells on command. If you could somehow give this ability to the woman you're talking about, that's that. She's curing herself.
You know that I'm not at liberty to reveal the asset's genetic makeup. Modified animals are known to be unpredictable.
Just kill people, Henry.
That's unfortunate.
What purpose could we have for a dinosaur that can camouflage?
Cuttlefish genes were added to help her withstand an accelerated growth rate. Cuttlefish have chromatophores that allow the skin to change color.
It hid from thermal technology.
Really?
How is that possible?
Tree frogs can modulate their infrared output. We use strands from their DNA to adapt her to a tropical climate, but I never imagined...
Who authorized you to do this?
You did. Bigger. Scarier? Cooler, I believe is the word that you used in your memo. You cannot have an animal with exaggerated predator features without the corresponding behavioral traits.
What you're doing here, what you have done.
The board will shut down this park, seize your work, everything you've built.
And Hammond won't be there to protect you this time.
All of this exists because of me. If I don't innovate, somebody else will.
You are to cease all activities here immediately.
You are acting like we are engaged in some kind of mad science. But we are doing what we have done from the beginning. Nothing in Jurassic World is natural. We have always filled gaps in the genome with the DNA of other animals. And if their genetic code was pure, many of them would look quite different. But you didn't ask for reality. You asked for more teeth.
I never asked for a monster.
Monster is a relative term. To a canary, a cat is a monster. We're just used to being the cat.
Mother Nature gave us something that's richer than our imagination.
We saw a very peculiar pattern.
Never seen anything like this before.
I remember him saying, remember this word, CRISPR.
We've never had the ability to change the fundamental chemical nature of who we are, and now we do. And what do we do with that?
David's doctor told me, just hold on. There's something coming.
You can actually use CRISPR to change DNA. You can actually do it.
We could engineer a single gene that could potentially make us all more muscular. But should we make that universally available?
Что человек может создавать человека, человек, который может воевать без страха и без боли. И вот то, о чем я сейчас сказал, может быть страшнее ядерной бомбы.
Should we really be manipulating the heredity of future generations, given our lack of knowledge about so many things?
I don't know where you draw the line between not having albinism and deciding your kid needs to be an extra foot taller so they can be a good oarsman and go to Yale. Where is that line? Who's going to draw that?
Anything that will stop my child from suffering, I'm for.
You know, draw this ethical line wherever you want, but don't draw it in front of my disease.
What does that mean for this science, where we have the capacity to edit in some things that we think are important? Are we playing God?
You don't realize it's disruptive until you look backward. Often you don't realize that you're in the middle of a revolution until after the revolution has occurred.
So what happened is that as soon as we got the sequence of the virus from the Chinese, we pulled it out of the public database and stuck the gene into a vaccine platform and worked on it literally within a day of when it came out.
This is the doctor who changed the future of the human race and let the world know on YouTube. He Jiankui stunned the scientific community with the claim he pushed the boundary no one else had.
A line has been crossed that should not have been crossed.
It's very disturbing. It's inappropriate.
Oh, this is huge.
He says he genetically edited human embryos, not just for research but for implantation, leading to the world's first births of genetically altered humans, baby girls born in China from embryos designed to be resistant to HIV.
For this specific case, I feel proud, actually.
The tool used by He, called Crispr, is found in labs around the world.
It gives us the precise way of cutting the gene or putting a new piece of gene in.
It's often used by researchers trying to treat incurable diseases.
I got to read a lot of great books this year. The Codebreaker by Walter Isaacson. Every Isaacson book is good. The Codebreaker is about how Jennifer Doudna and other scientists discovered a new way to edit DNA called CRISPR. Walter Isaacson, as usual, does a very thorough job of the complex history and discussion of how will it get used. Will it just be used to cure diseases or make kids smarter or better looking? What are we going to do with this amazing tool?
Genetics. What can it mean? The ability to perfect the physical and mental characteristics of every unborn child.
Of genetic engineering to choose the gene. In the cells of society.
In the not-too-distant future, our DNA will determine everything about us. A minute drop of blood, saliva, or a single hair determines where you can work, who you should marry, what you're capable of achieving.
What if Titan could become our home? You will become enhanced humans. Most of you will fail. Some people will break during the training.
You're talking forced evolution.
I'm talking survival of the species.
I've studied your work. I know what we're doing here.
I wouldn't have thought I would have got this far.
How can you possibly know what he is becoming.
If we can't control him, all of us are dead.
Once upon a time, bad people ruled the earth. They were greedy and self-destructive. So nature made everyone sick.
Excuse me? Are you a doctor?
And then a miracle happened. They called them hybrids. Your kind.
Gandalf, the enemy is moving. Sauron's forces are massing in the east. His eye is fixed on Rivendell. And Saruman, you tell me, has betrayed us. Our list of allies grows thin.
His treachery runs deeper than you know. By foulcraft, Saruman has crossed Orcs with Goblin men. He's breeding an army in the caverns of Isengard. An army that can move in sunlight and cover great distance at speed. Saruman is coming for the ring.
Do you know how the Orcs first came to be? They were elves once, taken by the dark powers, tortured and mutilated. A ruined, terrible form of life. Now, affected.
Who the hell are you?
A remnant of a time long past. Genetically engineered to be superior so as to lead others to peace in a world at war.
My name is Khan.
Why would a Starfleet admiral ask a 300-year-old frozen man for help?
Because I am better.
At what?
Everything.
Very impressive.
I'd hoped you would be pleased. Clones can think creatively. You will find that they are immensely superior to droids. We take great pride in our combat education and training programs. This group was created about 5 years ago.
You mentioned growth acceleration.
Oh yes, it's essential. Otherwise a mature clone would take a lifetime to grow. Now we can do it in half the time.
I see.
They are totally obedient, taking any order without question. We modified their genetic structure to make them less independent than the original host.
And who was the original host?
A bounty hunter called Jango Fett.
And where is this bounty hunter now?
Oh, we keep him here. Apart from his pay, which is considerable, Fett demanded only one thing. An unaltered clone for himself. Curious, isn't it?
Unaltered?
Pure genetic replication. No tampering with the structure to make it more docile, and no growth acceleration.
I should very much like to meet this Jango Fett.
I would be very happy to arrange it for you.
Magnificent, aren't they?
The headline on the other major news story today, to which we intend to devote some time, is very simple. Hello, Dolly.
In February of 1997, a Finn Dorset sheep named Dolly sent waves of future shock around the world.
The first living, breathing clone of an adult mammal.
It's possible we're seeing a scientific explosion comparable to the atom bomb or the moon rocket or DNA itself.
For many, it was a case of science gone too far.
We all love our pets, but do you love yours enough to clone them?
You can. There's a company called viagenpets. It promises to make a carbon copy of your beloved animals so they can keep living even after they die. The company famously cloned Barbra Streisand's dog Sammy, not once but twice back in 2018. And now pet influencers are getting in on the action, using the service to make sure their famous animals' Instagram profiles don't have to go when they're gone. Here's CNBC's Andrea Day on the famous fur babies getting a second life.
Tinkerbell the dog has social media. She is a verified celebrity on all platforms. Her followers are over 800,000 followers combined.
Meet Tinkerbell, a 5-pound rescue who's mingled with more A-list celebs than most humans. Sam Carroll's full-time job, managing her dog's modeling career.
She's been in the theater, and they do TV and film and Fashion Week. They walk in shows, they sit front row.
Tinkerbell is 10 years old. In dog years, that's about 60. She says cloning company Viagen reached out about a partnership, and now she's thinking about duplicating her little star.
I don't know.
I'm better. That can never happen.
What's going on? William? Tell me the truth.
There was a crash. You and the kids died. I brought you back.
There is a reason human cloning is banned.
I'm dead.
What if something horrible goes wrong?
Something already has.
This has got way out of hand. I hope you're ready to go to jail.
The experiment's over, Bill. No, it isn't.
And I'll go on.
I love you.
Forever.
I didn't defy every natural law there is just to lose you again.
Across the world in Boston, there's a man who thinks he can bring back the mammoth without the need for an intact cell. Instead, he plans to genetically modify a modern elephant and turn it into a kind of mammoth. Professor George Church at Harvard Medical School is one of the world's leading geneticists. He's at the cutting edge of research into curing genetic diseases in humans.
It is a bit like science fiction to read genomes, including human genomes as well as extinct genomes, has improved by about 3 million-fold over the last decade.
George's strategy goes like this. Take the genome of the modern elephant and add mammoth genes for features like hair and extra fat. Then insert that new genome into an elephant egg, and a mammoth-like creature, not a pure clone, would be born. George's team of bright young geneticists is already working on modifying the elephant genome.
This is taking a sci-fi idea and bringing it into the lab.
When you tell someone, they always think back to Jurassic Park.
We're not just trying to create a hairy elephant. I'm bringing back the woolly man.
None of these attractions are ready yet, of course, but the park will open with the basic tour you're about to take. And then other rides will come online 6 or 12 months after that. Absolutely spectacular design, spared no expense.
And we can charge anything we want, $2,000 a day, $10,000 a day, and people will pay it. And then there's the merchandise. And I can personally...
Donald, this park was not built to cater only for the super rich. Everyone in the world has the right to enjoy these animals.
Sure, they will. I mean, what, we'll have a coupon day or something.
Gee, the lack of humility before nature that's being displayed here staggers me.
Well, thank you, Dr. Malcolm, but I think things are a little bit different than you and I had feared.
Yeah, I know. They're a lot worse.
Now, wait a second. Now, we haven't even seen the part where you feel...
Donald, let him talk. There's no reason. No, I want to hear every viewpoint. I really do.
Yeah, don't you see the danger, John, inherent in what you're doing here? Genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
It's hardly appropriate to start hurling generalizations.
If I may, I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
so what happened is that as soon as we got the sequence of the virus from the Chinese, we pulled it out of the public database and stuck the gene into a vaccine platform and worked on it literally within a day of when it came out. 65 days later, namely 2 days ago, we gave the first injection to a normal volunteer for a phase 1 trial to see if it's safe. That's the fastest that's ever been done. That's the good news.
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Condors. Condors are on the verge of extinction. If I was to create a flock of condors on this island, you wouldn't have anything to say.
No, hold on. This isn't some species that was obliterated by deforestation or the building of a dam. Dinosaurs had their shot, and nature selected them for extinction.
I simply don't understand this Luddite attitude, especially from a scientist. I mean, how can we stand in the light of discovery and not act?
Oh, what's so great about discovery? It's a violent, penetrative act that scars what explores what you call discovery. I call the rape of the natural world.
Well, the question is, how can you know anything about an extinct ecosystem? And therefore, how could you ever assume that you can control it? And you have plants in this building that are poisonous. You pick them because they look good. But these are aggressive living things that have no idea what century they're in, and they'll defend themselves violently if necessary.
Dr. Grant, if there's one person here who could appreciate what I'm trying to do.
The world has just changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look. Dinosaurs and man, two species separated by 65 million years of evolution, have just been suddenly thrown back into the mix together. How can we possibly have the slightest idea of what to expect?